Ebonyi State has been making headlines lately, and no, it's not for the usual political drama or celebrity weddings. It's because Ebonyi, a state many once overlooked, is now being recognized as one of the fastest developing economies in Nigeria. But here's a big question that everyone is asking: whether in the beer parlor or in business boardrooms, can Ebonyi sustain this momentum? Is this truly a long-term transformation, or are we just witnessing a temporary flash of progress that might soon fade away? Today on Ebonyi People TV, we are not here to hype or sugarcoat. We are here to break it down. We'll explore how Ebonyi got here, the factors driving its growth, the challenges ahead, and most importantly, what the future holds for the salt of the nation. So, sit tight and let's dive deep. Let's go back in time for a second. Not too long ago, Ebonyi State was often seen as the forgotten child of the southeast. While other states like Enugu, Anambra, and Abia were seen as economic giants, Ebonyi State quietly worked behind the scenes. But today, the story has changed. Ebonyi is now frequently mentioned among the top states driving economic growth in Nigeria, a shocking reality for many who still have the outdated picture of Ebonyi as just a small agricultural state. But what's the truth? Ebonyi's economic rise did not just happen overnight. It's a combination of several factors coming together at the right time. First, let's talk about agriculture, the heart of Ebonyi's economy. From Abakaliki rice to cassava, yam, palm produce, and even vegetables, Ebonyi has always had fertile lands and hardworking farmers. But in recent years, agriculture has moved beyond just subsistence farming. Rice mills, processing plants, and agro-industrial ventures have become springing up across the states. Farmers are no longer just producers, they are now part of value chains that extend into packaging, branding, and even export markets. This shift has not only boosted the state's internally generated revenue, but has also created thousands of jobs for youth and women in rural communities. Then comes manufacturing. While still at a growing stage, industries involved in building materials, food processing, and small-scale fabrication have begun to populate industrial clusters within the state. Ebonyi is gradually shifting from being a raw material supplier to a production hub. And we cannot ignore tourism. Sites like Okosi Salt Lake and Uburu Salt Spring are gaining attention, not just for their beauty, but for their historical and economic significance. Ecotourism and cultural tourism are areas where Ebonyi has untapped potential, and the state is beginning to explore these avenues seriously. The rise is real, it's observable, it's tangible. But the question remains, what's fueling this rise? No economic grows by chance. Let's break down the key forces behind Ebonyi's surge in development. 1. Government policies and initiatives. Successive Ebonyi State administrations have been deliberate in pushing policies that prioritize infrastructure development and economic diversification. Massive road networks, flyovers, and bridges have been constructed, especially in urban areas like Abakaliki. These projects are not just for aesthetics. They've significantly improved the ease of movement for goods and people, which in turn boosts commerce. Policies that encourage agricultural modernization, support small and medium-scale industries, and enhance public-private partnerships have also been instrumental. 2. Private sector participation. The private sector, which once looked away from Ebonyi State, is now seeing potential. Investors are establishing processing factories, manufacturing hubs, and service businesses to tap into the state's growing markets. Local entrepreneurs are also rising, leveraging the opportunities created by infrastructure and government support. Micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises are thriving, thanks to better access to markets and support programs. 3. Strategic location. Geographically, Ebonyi serves as a gateway between the southeast, south-south, and north-central regions of Nigeria, with projects like the Ebonyi International Airport and the proposed inland dry port. The state is positioning itself as a future logistics and trade hub. This location advantage is becoming more apparent as businesses seek alternatives to the congested markets in bigger cities. But while it's good to celebrate these successes, it's even more important to address the looming challenges. Ebonyi's rise, as impressive as it is, faces potential stumbling blocks like over-reliance on agriculture. Agriculture has served Ebonyi so well, but experts caution that an economy heavily reliant on agriculture alone is vulnerable to shocks like climate change, price fluctuations, and poor mechanization. To sustain growth, Ebonyi must look beyond agriculture and invest in technology-driven sectors, creative industries, and light manufacturing. 2. Industrial diversification gaps. While we have seen growth in agro-processing, other industries like ICT, renewable energy, and high-value manufacturing are still underdeveloped in the state. Without a deliberate push into these sectors, Ebonyi's economic engine might eventually slow down. 3. Infrastructure gaps in rural areas. It's true that urban centers are developing at a rapid pace, but many rural communities still face challenges like networks, unreliable electricity, and limited access to quality healthcare. If left unaddressed, this urban-rural imbalance could create social and economic disparities that hurt long-term growth. 4. Human capital development. One of the greatest assets of any economy is its people. Ebonyi State needs to invest more in education, vocational training, and digital literacy programs to ensure its workforce can meet the demands of a rapidly evolving economy. Without a skilled workforce, industries will struggle to find the human resources they need to grow. Last but not the least, environmental sustainability. The aggressive push for development brings with it concerns about environmental degradation. If not properly managed, activities like mining, large-scale farming, and industrialization could harm Ebonyi's rich natural environment. The state must balance economic growth with eco-friendly policies and practices. So, how can Ebonyi State transform this current momentum into sustainable long-term development? Here are some strategic moves that can make a difference. Diversifying into new economic sectors. Ebonyi State must aggressively pursue diversification into sectors like information and communication technology, which is the ICT, renewable energy projects, creative industries like film, music, digital arts, light manufacturing and assembly plants. Then there is establishing innovation and entrepreneurship hubs. Ebonyi youth population is a gold mine of talent. Setting up innovation hubs, tech incubation centers, and business accelerators will foster homegrown entrepreneurs who can build globally competitive businesses. Existing innovation hubs like Digital Creators Hub Limited need support and encouragement to deliver more value to people of Ebonyi State. 3. Attracting foreign direct investment. Global investors are looking for new frontiers, and Ebonyi State must position itself as an attractive destination.